going on? I haven't done a video in a while and I'm a bit disappointed in myself, but I really honestly, the last few months have been really challenging and there's been a lot of growth for me personally. And one of the hardest hitting things that I've gone through that I want to share with you is about feeling like it's too late, feeling like I can't have the things that I truly want out of my life. And if you're watching this, maybe you can somewhat resonate, and maybe it's something that you're feeling yourself, whether you're working a job, whether you are in a business, or you're doing something with your world that feels like it's a dead end. There's no excitement there. There's nothing that's challenging you anymore. And you might be a certain age and you might be like, whatever age you are, in your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s even, and you're just feeling like, I don't know what else there is out there for me, but I know there's something else. And that's a really fucking harrowing thought, because there's no safety in the unknown. And I want to share something, because I'm 34 now and I didn't make my first little bit of money to get any sort of freedom in my world that I so craved for my entire 20s until I was about 29. And I didn't care how I got there. I just cared that I got there, because I never had any sense of ability to be able to deal with authority. I sucked with being told what to do. You couldn't tell me. I had no sense of rules. It was just my way or the highway. And I had a terrible attitude towards employment and everything. So I really only had one choice, and that was to go and do my own thing. And I was broke, literally, and broke for most of my life. And fuck no, I actually look back and I go, how did I even work that out? How did I even survive for most of that part? And now, a few years on, I feel like even this path now is not feeling 100% aligned to who I really am. And now the thoughts are starting to creep in, the humble thoughts that are like, is it too late? Can I do something else? Is there a different path for me? And maybe you're feeling the same. And I know for a fact that in my hustle years, between the times of when I got out of school and to the point where I was that 28, 29 years old, when things started to really happen for me, I just had one goal, and it was to get out of the system, whatever that is. But it was to step away from what felt like societal norms. And I rebelled against all of them mentally, but I had to live within them, because I didn't have the skills until I learned them to be able to get out. And even when I say out, that's even a cringe way of saying it, because I still live inside the system. I'm a tax-paying resident of Australia. I'm no big deal. But I've gained a level of success that's allowed me to now live a life that I'm really proud of. But also, it's kind of a trap. And you don't actually learn the trap until you get there. So maybe you're in a position where you're kind of like, what else is out there for me? And here's why I want to tell you why it's not too late. And here's how I know, because now I'm kind of on the pathway to doing other things. And I have a deep-seated belief, because I've done it once, probably more than that in other pursuits of things that I've achieved in my life. But now that I've done it once, I know I can do it again. And I don't give a fuck how old I am. Age will not be my limit. Age will not be my barrier. And so I'm telling you this because maybe you're unfulfilled in the job that you're in. Maybe you're working a 9 to 5 and it ain't you. And to some degree, you need to accept, sorry about the lighting, it looks fucking weird. To some degree, you need to accept that your life is a combination of you living up to the standards that have been set not by you. And what I mean is, society has told you to go and do certain things. You might have thought you were in control, but society has told you to go and do certain things to stay safe. And it's not your fault entirely, because those messages are strong and they come from people we care about. Come from your mum, your dad, they come from family in general, they come from friends, they come from mentors. And we, as humans, we crave assurance. And if we don't have assurance generally, we don't operate very good, because we want to feel safe in the pursuit of anything we do. And here's the caveat. The caveat is that anything you want, truly, truly want, whether it's financial success, or whether it's to break away from, going and working in an office space, or, whatever those, red pill ideas are, then I think it takes enormous courage, and there is always risk and sacrifice needed. And that's why most people don't achieve it. That's why most people don't get it. And I think the chip on my shoulder that I had when I was achieving goals in my life and like going towards the things that I wanted the most, the chip on my shoulder was that I was fearless. I just didn't care because I had nothing to lose anyway. I was broke anyway. The only thing I really had going for me was I was like kind of good at sport. I was trying to play AFL football. I made it to a pretty high level, and then that didn't work out. So I was just like, oh, well, fuck, life can't get much worse than this. And so it was a combination of like just absolute ignorance and like hard work towards something that I had no idea what I was doing. But the unknown didn't scare me, because the unknown was that, anything's got to be better than this. Because I was living with my mum when I was 28 in debt, and I didn't own anything. All I had was a laptop. And looking back on that now, we can very easily get conditioned to safety. And once you have a certain level of safety where your basic needs are met, like Maslow's hierarchy, that kind of situation, as soon as those needs are met, then you don't really need to do much else. Like, you can pretty easily cruise along and sort of do life, find yourself a relationship, settle down, have a couple kids, live in debt for most of your life. Like, Australia will let you do that. But I'm here to tell you that if you really want something else, if you really want the next phase and the next thing out of life, there's going to be risk. It's going to suck. It's going to hurt, because what it's going to require is a new level of you. It's going to require personal development, and you can't educate your way out of it. You can't educate your way through it. You have to do shit. And this is a reminder, as much for me as it is for you. It doesn't matter how old you are. Remove that idea entirely. I know that people have different scenarios too. You might have a family, you might have kids, you might be, over your head in debt because you've over leveraged yourself. You might have lost your business. You might be out on your ass if you're watching this. And listen, I get it. I understand. But everyone has their choices that they've made, and you need to make peace with that. You might have studied for 6 years and you might have gone into a job that you fucking hate now. You need to live with that. And I'm telling myself this as much as like the next person, because the thing that I think about is I wasted my 20s not living it up, whatever that looks like, by working so hard to try and achieve what I have now. And I need to look back with gratitude and go, thank you to my younger self for working through that so that I can live the life I have now. And the challenges I've got, while other people would take my life over theirs, but like they all present their own version of something that you need to actually accept. And so that's the first step. Accept where you're at. It's just radical honesty with yourself. If you can have the radical honesty with yourself about your situation and accept it, you won't treat yourself like a victim. That's the first thing. And then the second thing is, all right, well, you kind of need to strategize it a bit. You can't just be too reckless and then you end up with your family living under a bridge. Like, that's not going to fucking help, is it? So you kind of need to strategize a bit. But then there's the element that no one really talks about, that you can't strategize. You can't educate your way through this part, and you can't fucking think your way through it, is the doing bit. And it's scary as fuck, and it's supposed to be. And if it's really scary, you're going in the right direction. And I can't stress that part enough. And so what I mean to say is, it might look like, I'll give you an example. You're in a job and you've done that job for a bit and you've got a mortgage and you're like sitting at home of an evening or something, whatever your scenario you're in, and life's pretty easy, right? Like, from the outside in, you've got normal challenges in your world, that's fine. But you know deep down, you're like, this ain't my forever. Maybe the house you're sitting in is like, you don't even really want that fucking thing because it's just like draining your bank account, and you want to travel with it. There's something else calling you. There's something deep inside you calling you. It requires you to change your world in a way that steps you in the unknown direction. There is an element of it where it's just like, I don't know what I'm doing, but I need to start moving in a direction towards something that's new and different. And the direction that kind of feels right in my gut. And that's what it is. You can watch every YouTube video and read 10 books, but it is not going to be anywhere near as transformative as actually going in the direction you want to go in. And if you don't know what that direction is, start doing research on that thing and then make small inroads to it. I'll give you one other example of it. I recently started doing boxing because I want to get in the ring and I want someone to throw punches at me and I want to fight. And the reason isn't because I just want to get into a fight. I want to now challenge my body and my mind to something that it's never really been properly exposed to. Because I know there's going to be transformation at the other side of that in a really positive way for me to be able to step me in the right direction of something that I feel called to. I just have known that that's just been sitting there in the back of my mind for the longest time. And so something as small as that, it doesn't need to be massive actions. Massive actions are better because they move the needle faster, but just something small. So anyway, this is my reminder to you that it's not too late ever. It doesn't matter what your age is. Accept where you're at so you can go in the right direction for yourself. And maybe like, I don't know, like if whoever watches this, chuck something in the comments. Like if you have questions or if you just need to vent part where it's just like, this is my scenario and this is sort of the direction I want to go. Maybe that's enough. And like, I love hearing from you guys. So you can hit me up on Instagram at any time. I'm good with that. And yeah, I think I want to make these videos more often. I got some presenting coming up that I need to practice for. Anyway, that's a side tangent. So have a good rest of your day. I'm going to go to the gym now and peace out.